The complete work of Swami Vivekananda. Video 52. 22. Colored by the seer and the seen, the mind is able to understand everything. On one side of the mind, the external world, the seen, is being reflected, and on the other, the seer is being reflected. Thus comes the power of all knowledge to the mind. 23. The mind, though variegated by innumerable desires, acts for another, the Purusha, because it acts in combination. The mind is a compound of various things, and therefore it cannot work for itself. Everything that is a combination in this world has some object for that combination, some third thing for which this combination is going on. So this combination of the mind is for the Purusha. 24. For the discriminating, the perception of mind as Atman ceases. Through discrimination, the yogi knows that the Purusha is not mind. 25. Then bent on discriminating, the mind attains the previous state of Kavalyas, isolation. There is another reading. The meaning then would be, then the mind becomes deep in discrimination and gravitates towards Kavalya. Thus, the practice of yoga leads to discriminating power, to clearness of vision. The veil drops from the eyes, and we see things as they are. We find that nature is a compound, and is showing the panorama for the Purusha, who is the witness. That nature is not the Lord, that all the combinations of nature are simply for the sake of showing these phenomena to the Purusha, the enthroned king within. When discrimination comes, by long practice, fear ceases and the mind attains isolation. 26. The thoughts that arise as obstructions to that are from impressions. All the various ideas that arise, making us believe that we require something external to make us happy, are obstructions to that perfection. The Purusha is happiness and blessedness by its own nature, but that knowledge is covered over by past impressions. These impressions have to work themselves out. 27. Their destruction is in the same manner as of ignorance, egoism, etc., as said before. 28. Even when arriving at the right discriminating knowledge of the essence, he who gives up the fruits unto him comes, as a result of perfect domination, the samadhi, called the cloud of virtue. When the yogi has attained to this discrimination, all the powers mentioned in the last chapter come to him, but the true yogi rejects them all. Unto him comes a peculiar knowledge, a particular light called the Dharma Megha, the cloud of virtue. All the great prophets of the world whom history has recorded had this. They had found the whole foundation of knowledge within themselves. Truth to them had become real. Peace and calmness and perfect purity became their own nature after they had given up the vanities of powers. 29. From that comes cessation of pain and works. When that cloud of virtue has come, then no more is there fear of falling. Nothing can drag the yogi down. No more will there be evils for him, no more pains. 30. The knowledge bereft of covering and impurities, becoming infinite, the knowable becomes small. Knowledge itself is there. Its covering is gone. One of the Buddhistic scriptures defines what is meant by the Buddha, which is the name of a state, as infinite knowledge, infinite as the sky. Jesus attained to that and became the Christ. All of you will attain to that state. Knowledge becoming infinite, the knowable becomes small. The whole universe, with all its objects of knowledge, becomes as nothing before the Purusha. The ordinary man thinks himself very small because to him the knowable seems to be infinite.